Hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about gardening and sometimes life. We're getting ready for the third part, the raised garden bed tour for the month of April of 2023. And this marks the beginning of year number 2 for these videos. And we've actually had the channel for longer than that, but I've been doing the garden tours for starting on 2 years now, and basically it's my own personal log of everything that's going on in the garden. I use this all the time with my ADD brain that forgets everything, and I go back and look at these videos quite frequently to remember what I did. You'll notice there's really good indexing on all the videos, and I can easily go back and find whatever information I need in these. So please subscribe to not miss out anything that happens in the garden. Today we're going to look at the raised beds, as I already said, and we're actually going to plant out some okra. And we got the Hill Country Red okra, and we'll do this in a few minutes, but I'll just go over this. I actually have some seeds here from Seed Saver Exchange from couple of years ago. This was actually grown for the 2021 growing season, which means it was actually probably grown in 2020. So this is some pretty old seeds. I'm curious to find out if they'll actually grow. These were actually grown in 2021, and I got from MI Gardener. No affiliation or anything, but I like MI Gardener stuff. But so this was grown in 2021 for the 2022 season. That was last year. And if that's not enough seeds, which I don't think it will, I want to use up all my old seed. We have this. This was grown in 2022 last year, and it was grown right here. So this is the best seed because it's used to growing here. Now here's the thing. I was reading through this. Always look at the back of the package. There's always information on there. And this one from Seed Savers Exchange, I think it was, yeah. It says, grows to beautiful 6-foot tall red stem plants. Produce wide green pods tinged with red. If you watched our video, and I'll put a link up here in the corner, if you watched our video last year where we measured those things, they weren't 6 feet. They were 17 feet. So the trellis here wasn't tall enough to hold them. I had to have a ladder out here to harvest them, mainly because we have such a long growing season here on the Florida Panhandle. We're in the heart of Destin, Florida, about 7 blocks from the beach. Our weather stays nice. We have not very much cold weather. So I know we have a 10-month growing period. We're already in April, so I've missed 2 months. Not too worried about it. But we will be planting some of that out here. I even got some chives out here. Maybe we'll finally move the chives. Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, let's do that too in preparation for this. So anyway, let's get on with the tour and see what's going on. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So starting off in bed number 1, I do want to point out these tables. These tables were my garden a year and a half ago. In fact, this month is 1.5 years, 18 months since we bought this house. We built all these beds. We filled them last year, and they sank away, and we filled them again this year because we have a lot of compost in there. It's free compost we get from the Kelly Plantation Equestrian Center. They have a mountain of it over there that they're just giving away. All you need is a way to go get it. And I've actually had friends that go with their car and fill contractor bags with with black compost. But anyway, so this is going to be Kajari melons right here on this first trellis. And this is bed number 1. I'm gonna have to do some. I'm going to plant some other stuff in here, but I'm just not quite sure what yet. We do have a green stalk coming for lettuce and such. Originally this is exactly what I've planned for this structure up here. But we're going to be able to hang shade cloth up here, and we have just ordered our first shade cloth to go over some tomato plants. But right now, I've got this brown tubing, and I think I'm going to change, when we get over to bed number 2, I think I'm going to change. I did the brown tubing. It's okay. I did not like the coverage, and in fact, I used to set seedlings over here on the far side of this bed here, because there's a leak in that head, that irrigation head, and it would spray across them. And then I set up little spray little plastic spray heads to keep them watered and so forth. But the drip tubing is okay, but I think I'm going to try those little, well, I'll show you in a minute here. The little yellow flags here, these are ginger. There is ginger planted at each one. And in fact, on last month, I had just planted these, and there's the one that was up last month. And I said, oh, there's another one. It must have got buried. Well, it came up, and it's a little rough for wear, but it's trying to come up. We have a whole bunch of it under here, and we're just going to let it go, and this whole area will be covered with ginger leaves, and hopefully we'll have a good harvest this next year. This is a volunteer tomato, and I did notice, looky here, it's got buds on it, all over it. In fact, I have no idea what it is, but these things are ready to start producing some tomatoes. Again, no clue. I was hoping maybe a Principe Borghese, but it doesn't look like it's doing the racks. And I grew mostly, if not all, heirloom tomatoes that last year, so I'm hoping it's one of the heirlooms. Anyway, check out this lizard just sitting here wanting to be part of the show. I love the lizards. Okay, so we're coming around here. I need to get some spearmint back in this urn. Once I get it watered, I'm going to change out all the irrigation. I'll take care of little things like that. But you'll notice this trellis here has one lone plant down here, and what that's the Suyo Long Cucumber. And if I pan over here to the other side of this arch trellis, you'll notice there's another one here. So the seedlings, I'm waiting for them to grow. As they start showing tendrils, like they're reaching out to grab things, I'm going to put them in here. Next one I'll put on this end or this end of this arch, and then I'll put one in the middle and I'll fill in. But hopefully we'll have at least 6 plants in here, if not a few more. I love those Suyo Long Cucumbers. More space over there to do something with, not sure what yet. Now this area had a huge Principe Borghese last year, and we'll have to see what we do over there. So here at the end of the path, we have random Blackberry growing up. I put this ladder mesh in here in the hopes that I could tie it to it, but it's just too tall. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with these. They're just kind of sitting there, but look, buds. They have buds. Oh, there's a lizard. That is so funny. I wonder why they do that. Someone said they think it is because they get better three-dimensional analysis as far as how far away I am. But oh, looky there. He's even showing his little... Anyway, okay, so yeah, there's buds here. So we're going to have blackberries off of this little plant. So it's a little bit of a plant here. But, so anyway, this bed right here, last year we had our okra right here. Actually, we had our okra from there to about here. And we just opened our last frozen package of okra from last year. We have half a bag left. and we need more okra. So I am actually going to be planting the whole thing up here, and I was going to do that with you. First off, well, let me come over here. You actually notice there's some nasturtium coming up in the corner. Now, I don't know if that was the nasturtium, the trailing nasturtium that I planted, or if it's volunteer. It kind of looks like it might be my trailing nasturtium. And there's a lot of weeds in here that I pull out all the time. I just leave them on the top there. They dry out and they'll get blown around and feed wherever they fall. But here we are in what will be next year's okra bed. And I'm going to come over here and see if I can do this and get the tripod set up here real quick, because looky here, look at these beautiful chives just blooming out. There's another bloom about to come right there. But I planted this here last year, and when I planted it, this soil was at the level of the top here, and it's kind of sunk down in. So I'm going to be moving this. This will be one of the things that I move over there. And it doesn't take a lot of chives for a family of 2. Our kids are grown and gone, but you know, they say 1 or 2 plants would be enough for most people, and this thing is really starting to take off. I'll see if I can split it out. Well, let me put the camera on a tripod and see what we can do here. So I have my Corona Hori here. This is a really useful tool. It has a ruler on it for measuring how deep you're planting things. It has a serrated edge here. It's not a terribly sharp serrated edge, but it will cut things in the ground. It has a little hook here for cutting things, and it's very thick. It's an extremely thick blade. Now, that being said, I did bend it a little bit trying to pry some crepe myrtle growth nodes out of the ground the other day, and I even straightened it back out. That's why it looks straight, because I straightened it. But it is very heavy blade. I like it a lot. I'm going to use it to get down here and pull up a nice big chunk of roots and kind of slice my way around these chives. Now, these chives don't have a very deep root system, and they are actually quite they can handle this being moved like this. So I've cut around it. I'm going to reach down here, and oh, I can feel some root. Oh yeah, looky there. Look at the roots there. So that actually looks really good. I'm going to plant this over on the other side. So here we are, about 6 feet away. The okra is going to be growing right over here, and I will pull a few of these weeds out. I've never done this before, but I want to try to break this apart into 2 pieces. Oh, looky there. I'm just very carefully pulling it apart. Huh, sure enough, look at that. Came apart pretty, oh, I can smell, I just got a whiff of it. So there we go, 2 halves. One's bigger than the other, that's okay. And I'm gonna plant these 2 halves in just a couple of feet apart here, or about a foot apart. I don't wanna put it there, put it up here. Oh, this soil is nice and wet. All right, there we go. The chives have been moved. So those will actually fill in. They don't look very impressive now, but I had a friend who had some chives growing in her garden, and she had these clusters about that big around, about 5 or 6 of them. She said, that's more clusters than I can eat in a lifetime. So we'll watch those things develop in the next couple of years. May have to transplant them again, but they're supposed to be pretty hardy. So I'm going to arrange these okra in this bed in little rows going across the bed. And you'll notice there's a bag of garden soil over there. And I'm going to make a nice large trench with my little trowel over there and fill in the trench with that garden soil, and then we'll plant our seeds within each trench. So there we have it, 9 rows of 5 or 6 seeds per row. There's 6 seeds with 6 rows with 6 seeds and 3 rows with 5 seeds. So we've already looked at the rest of bed number 1. Of course, the one Suyo Long Cucumber on this side, and the potato that's really suffering. Gonna have to dig that up here pretty soon because don't have much hope of it doing much more. Notice what has come up though. Look at the turmeric. The turmeric is going strong. I'm very excited to see that. Look how beautiful it is. It was just a little sliver last time, just barely coming up. And the peach tree is actually looking good too. It's starting to come up with a lot of leaves. We'll have to see what happens with this. I still don't think we're going to get any peaches. Having said that, I thought I just saw a bud, but I did not. Yeah, it's coming up with all kinds of growth on it everywhere. So, see if I come around here. Look at those 2 little branches coming up right now. Okay, bed number 2, the Brussels sprouts. So, Jay Dixon, thank you for clarifying. I wasn't sure if I was going to get anything on a second year from these, and Jay Dixon says I most definitely will not. These are ready to bolt, which means they shoot up, they give a flower, create seed, and then they will be done. It's a 2-year plant. So the fact that we didn't get any Brussels sprouts on the first year, very disappointing. First time for Brussels sprouts, so very sad. I did cut off the seed head on this, somewhere down here, yeah, right there. I cut off the seed head, it was just starting to, and as soon as I did that, it came out with these other shoots, so we'll have to see what happens there. I'm just gonna let it live its life, just for my education, more than anything else. I wanna find out what they do exactly. So coming over here, we have made some decisions in this bed. Of course, we have the beans, and 2 of them have grown tall enough to reach the trellis. I'm using these clips. This trellis is higher than the other one, but I'm gonna have to live with it and use the clips and help them up a little bit. On the other side over there, now last year we actually had this in the middle of the bed. I've moved it over close to this side so that we can grow tomatoes on that other side. And this is the type of thing that I'm going to start doing. You can see there's a little irrigation head right here on the black tubing. And I'm gonna start moving towards those. There's another one just over there. And there's every few feet I'm putting one. That will be to water this bed, and there's gonna be tomatoes on the other side. Did I just say that? I believe I did. Down here, because we don't have the big tree over, so I'm gonna plant a couple of more determinate or indeterminate tomatoes there. A couple of the Principe Bourgeois on the other side that will use the trellis to climb up. And we will have tomatoes. It's half our tomato bed. We do want to have more tomatoes this year. We had very little last year, and with the heat, it was rough. The aloe patch is looking very sorry. Needs some cleanup. I'm gonna get that board out of there. There's a brick over there. I'm gonna start cleaning this up and see what we got left in here that's gonna grow. This was a beautiful aloe patch last year. Go back and look at some of the garden tours from a year ago when these were all in bloom. Very sad. So we're looking over here at the pepper bed. Now, a lot of these pepper plants were planted July of last year. I've taken care of them. I brought them in for the freeze, and then before they were planted into the bed. Some of these were not in the bed. I had a plastic cover over this that protected it during the freeze. Most everything survived, but not everything. So we are starting to get some produce out of this. Looking here, not sure. I think that's a peri-peri. There was a peppadew in there. I think that may be a peri-peri as well. Not seeing any fruit on those. However, if I look down here on, well, I saw some here somewhere. These are needing a little trim. Well, let me just go ahead and show you the shishito. Arrange my camera in here. Look at the shishito. There's a bunch of them in there. There's probably 20 or 30 in there that we need to harvest like sooner rather than later. Look all up over there. In fact, let me go to the other side real quick. I love looking at this from this side because you can see all the shishito hanging up in here. Just tons and tons and tons of them. Even this plant over here, it's a bit smaller, but it's still got a dozen on it that need to be harvested. So very excited. I believe this is an orange bell. Ooh, is that an orange bell? That's a big orange bell. Nope, that's a Chinese, no. Yes, Chinese giant bell. Look at that thing. Ooh, that kind of snuck up on me. And, oh, here's those jalapenos. I'm gonna adjust the camera here, so bear with me. You see all those jalapenos right there? Oh, those look delish. Pretty sure they're jalapeno. Let's check the tag here. Yes, these are jalapeno traveler. Nice big ones. Beautiful looking. Hoping we had some coming out over here, but I see we have buds that have just about to come out on this. I think that's a peri-peri or a peppadew. We've got a few more down here. There's another peri-peri right there. This one's got a lot of buds on it. Oh, that's more shishito. I need to support that, get that off the ground. I didn't realize that was the same plant. That's not great. Okay, well, I will have to raise that up. I did, that over there is a habanero, which I bought, and this here is the Fatale from the experiment we did on rooting up. And interestingly enough, we were talking about how it didn't create roots, but it actually started creating growth nodes underneath the soil level. I'll link that up here in the corner of the video, but look at these growth nodes that have been coming out so strong. They're looking good. And the greenery here is just thick, thick, thick. So I'm very, very impressed with that. Before I go over to the garlic bed, I'm going to have to start including this with the raised beds. Look at these nasturtium. And there's two kinds of nasturtium in here. There's giant ones and there's trailing ones. So some of these are going to stick straight up and some of them are going to flow over the edge. And I don't know which is which. I'm pretty sure all of these, actually I'm not sure. We'll just have to see what happens here. Very fascinated with this. But soil is still damp. Ooh, it's not very damp. I better water that. There's moisture down there. Good moisture. You saw me stick my finger and see the end of my finger is wet. I wonder if this one is getting enough. This one's getting a little drier. Oh, now that's moist over there. The irrigation head is down somewhere over there. I'm not sure exactly where. I may have to adjust that irrigation so that gets a little better water. So over here to the garlic bed. The garlic is looking fantastic. We have elephant garlic here in the beginning, which are beginning to fall over. We have music, which I see more scapes that need to come up. We saw the scapes on the bags in the front on the first part. I'm gonna have to cut these too. A lot of thick garlic in here. Ooh, being attacked by a pomegranate. A lot of garlic in here. Thick looking, healthy looking garlic. I gotta tell you, I am very impressed with these hardneck varieties. They are really coming up strong. The Enchilium Red, which is this right here, it actually seems to be doing okay. And then the Chestnut Red, which is down here. I thought this was a hardneck also, but I still have not seen scapes coming from this. So we'll have to keep an eye on those. But anyway, yeah, there's the garlic. It's looking strong. Some of these are looking better than others. Look at this one in the middle. This is a music hardneck. It's got 2 scapes, 3 scapes. Oh my, is that 4 scapes? 1, 2, 3, 4 scapes coming out of that one plant. Okay, I thought they just did 1 scape per plant, but that's coming out with multiple ones. and it's bigger than my thumb at the base. So hopefully that'll be a nice big head of garlic. And then past this, now this is tomato bed over here, or it will be tomato bed. We'll be planting several tomato plants in this section here. When the garlic is harvested, the tomatoes will be extended farther. And so I have just ordered my first shade cloth, my very first shade cloth, which is going to hang up here and give this a bit of shade during the hottest part of the day. And last year we had our tomatoes out here. Actually, we had some tomatoes over there, and then down at the end of where we just planted the okra. And when the heat hit last year, the unusual heat hit last year, the tomatoes suffered seriously. So I want to try to see what I can do to fix that this year. I've ordered some 50% shade cloth to go over this bed right here. And I wanted to see the quality of the shade cloth, and I will probably end up ordering another one. So on just a side note, in this tomato bed, I'm going to be putting Principe Bourgeois or something that will climb this. If I can find a, oh no, wait, not I keep saying Principe Bourgeois. Super Sweet 100 goes on here. That's what's going on here. So I've got some seeds for that. I just need to get them started. The goji berry bush is looking strong, though it's not producing anything at all. In fact, the things are growing into the ground and creating new goji berry bushes. So we'll have to see. I need to study a little bit more on this thing to figure out how it works. And you can see we have a lot of the tubing around here that I'm going to be changing to. It's all sitting out here. I've got bed number 3 changed over. There'll be, when the Brussels sprouts are done, there'll be a tube that goes over for whatever is next over there. I'm thinking Kajari melons planted later, but we'll just have to see how much time we have. So there you go. That is the raised garden bed for the month of April 2023. We have gotten month number 13 down in this series, and raised beds are going to be growing strong again this year, I hope. I'm trying to get better at feeding, and everything we're doing, we've covered the first, in the first part we covered the front and side gardens, and in the second part we covered the outer beds, which was obviously a lot shorter because there's not a lot going on in the outer beds right now. But anyway, this is my own personal journal of everything that's going on in the garden, and I use it a lot, which is why there's a lot of indexing in the description and chapters on the video, so where I can find things when I need to look back at them. It's been a long day, been a long week. I've been doing a lot of projects this week, trying to get things done because I'm going on a short trip. Well, going on a trip for a week, going up to visit my mom. Hi, Mom. Anyway, trying to get everything ship shape so I can be gone for a week. But I think that's everything. I think there was something else I was gonna mention in here, but I think that's enough for now. This video is already getting a little bit long. So if you've just stumbled along finding our channel, please subscribe. Don't miss the progress on the garden. And if you have already subscribed and you come back to watch more, thank you so much. Both watching and subscribing help grow the channel more than you can imagine. And if you thought this was informational, educational, or entertaining, click the thumbs up. Or inspirational, informational, educational, or entertaining. I've got to come up with something new in that, because I really like the inspirational thing, because I've been inspired by a lot of people. In fact, you saw the boards. I remember now the boards that I used back when I was planting the okra. M.I. Gardener did a thing on planting in his garden just the other day, and that inspired me. I knew I had those boards. That's what those boards are for in my shed, and I had forgotten about them until he told me about those in his video. And so there you go, some inspiration. But Yeah, and share this video with your friends on your social media pages. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. Um, yeah. All that being said, there's really only one thing I think I can get out of my mouth. Have a great April. Have a great May. Follow along. We're releasing a lot of videos on all kinds of topics. So have a blessed day.